Well, Jeff Fry is my uncle, so I more or less grew up around the farm. I started, probably the first time I ran this machine, I was 16 years old. Not necessarily this machine, but a combine similar to this. And but I have been working for him for the most part a couple years out of high school. So I've been working here close to 20 years. So I do a lot of managing as far as working on the machinery, helping to figure out the cropping systems, and I do a majority of the spraying. So managing the crops, taking care of the weeds, trying to keep the crops healthy to get us to this point where we can come in and see how good we did. We did the best that we could do up to this point, and it's pretty much in God's hands as far as what kind of crop we get out of this. And so yeah, it's every year is a different learning experience, and I've learned quite a bit over the years. I was very fortunate to grow up right next door, so I was spending my time around all the machinery, and yeah, it's nice to have my own class office here on a beautiful fall day. Well, this year we got dry in July and August, so the corn average is definitely lower than average. We're probably 20, 30, maybe 40 bushels lower than average on some of these fields. It's still good. I mean, in some parts of the state they're not even going to be getting a harvest because it was so dry. This grain will go to the feed mill, and it'll go out for chicken home or dairy feed. We have two finishing barns back at the home farm that some of this corn may end up going back to that, but we do not directly grind anything for those animals because we're contracted. So the feed comes out of whatever feed company that the contract is signed up with. So the whole process of the crop, of next year's crop, starts right now. So the monitor that is right up here, I can look at this monitor and I can see exactly what this variety is and what it's yielding. And as I'm harvesting, I can see the ear size. And you're looking at the yield, but you also want to look at how healthy the stalk, the ear, the stalk, and the corn, and just the whole plant. See how everything's holding up. If it's starting to have some high disease pressure, or if it's starting to fall down, it's something that we're not going to want to pick next year. Or maybe it might not be good for this field. We just have to say, okay, that's a good variety, but it will not work in this field. We have to pick a different variety for this field. So what we'll do is this is the time of year we pick varieties and figure out where we want to put stuff, and kind of a projection or thinking ahead until next year. After this corn is taken off, we'll come in and we plant. It's important to have something growing, something live and growing in your soil all the time to feed the microbes and keep the soil alive and healthy, prevent runoff. And so we'll come in and plant a cover crop. This year it will be a 4-way mixture, and that cover crop will stay green all year long. It'll be a little dormant during the cold months, but it'll still be there, holding the soil in place, keeping things healthy. And then in the spring, we will come in. We'll just stick with the corn. In the spring, we'll come in and plant the corn through the green cover crop, and the cover crop will be killed the first time we come through with the sprayer. But when we come through with the corn planter, that's when we start about the middle of April to plant the corn. And when we go through and plant the corn, we give a little bit of starter fertilizer. If we have the opportunity, we will take some of that hog manure that I was talking about, the finishing barns over there, and we'll put the hog manure on the living cover crop before we plant anything in it. And that cover crop will suck in the manure and aid in keeping the nutrients there, and it won't run off. It'll stay there in the soil for when that corn plant needs it. So we'll give it a little bit of starter fertilizer when we plant it. If there's manure there, that'll be there for a little later of the season. And then as the plant grows, we just keep an eye on the plant and the weed pressure. Typically, the weed pressure isn't too bad if you have a good living cover crop there, because you have something growing there that you want to be growing there and not extra weeds. The microbes would be the little animals, more or less, is the best way to describe it, that are living in the soil that we're trying to keep healthy and feed all year long with that good cover crop. So if there's something green and growing there all year long, that'll feed those microbes, and the microbes is what keeps the soil alive and provides a healthy soil. So in a handful of soil, there's thousands and thousands of microbes. Just like, it's almost like I guess I could say we're feeding cattle. We're almost like we're feeding animals, but we're not really feeding cattle directly with that, if I make any sense. We are feeding all these microbes all year long. So that's what keeps part of keeping our soil healthy, is to feed those guys and keep the soil covered. And everybody is concerned about cleaning the bag, keeping the bag clean water. So healthy soil, cover crops, all that stuff leads to all that. So it's a system, it's a whole cycle.